Aeschylus!
My lord!
Aeschylus. Of government, the properties to unfold would seem in need to affect speech and discourse. For I am put to know your own science exceeds in that the list of all advice my strength can give. Then no more remains, but that to your worth, as your sufficiency is able, and let them work. The nature of our people, our city's institutions, and the terms for common justice. You're as pregnant in as art and practice have enriched any that we remember. There is our commission, from which we would not have you warned. Go forth. Call hither before us, Lord Angelo. What figure of us think you he will bear? For you must know we have a special soul, elected him our absence to supply, lent him our terror, dressed him in our love, and given his deputation all the organs of our own power. What think you of it?
If any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honor, it is Lord Angelo.
Look where he comes!
Always obedient to your grace's will.
I come to know your pleasure. Angelo! There is a kind of character in thy life that doth to the observer thy history fully unfold. Thyself and thy possessions are not unknown so prosperous to waste thyself upon thy virtues, they on thee. Heaven doth with us as we with torches do, not light them for themselves, for if our virtues did not go forth of us, 'twere all alike as if we had them not. Spirits are not fond touched, but to fine issues. Nor does nature ever lend a scruple of her excellence, but like a thrifty goddess declares herself the glory of a creditor, both thanks and use. But I do bend my speech to one that can him in my part advertise. Hold therefore, Angelo, in our remove, be thou at full ourself. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. Old Aeschylus, though first in question, is thy secondary. Therefore, take your commission.
Now, good my lord, let there be some more test made of my metal before so great and so noble a figure be snapped upon it.
No more evasion. We have, with 11 and prepared choice, proceeded to you. Therefore, take your honors. Our haste from hence is of so quick condition that it prefers itself and leaves unquestioned matters of needful value. We shall write to you as time and our concerning shall importune how it goes with us. Do look to know what doth befall you here. To the hopeful execution, do I leave you of your commissions.
Give leave, my lord. Give leave, my lord, that we may bring you something on the way.
My haste may not admit it, nor need you, on mine honor, have to do with any scruple. Your scope is as mine own, so to enforce or qualify the laws as to your soul seems good. Give me your hand. I'll privily you. I love the people, but do not like to stage me to their eyes. Through it, do well. I do not relish well their loud applause and aves vehement, nor I think the man of safe discretion that does affect it. Once more, fare you well.
The heavens give safety to your purposes.
Lead forth and bring you back in happiness.
I thank you. Fare you well.
I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you. And it concerns me to look into the bottom of my place. Of power I have, but of what strength and nature I am not yet instructed.
Just so with you. Let us withdraw together, and may soon our purposes have touching that point.
I'll wait upon your honor.
Well, if the Duke with the other Dukes come not to composition with the King of Hungary, well, then all the other Dukes will call upon the King.
Heaven grants us its peace, but not the King of Hungary.
Amen!
Thou concludest like the sanctimonious pirate who went out to sea with the 10 commandments, but scraped one out of the table.
Thou shalt not steal!
That he raised!
Why, 'twas command the captain and all the rest from my functions. They put forth to steal. Now, 'twas not a soldier of us all that, in the thanksgiving would meet you, embellish to petition and praise for peace.
I never heard any soldier dislike it.
Well, I believe thee, for I think thou never was where grace was said at all.
No! A dozen times at least.
What, in meter?
In any proportion or in any language.
Or I didn't even any religion.
Aye, why not? Grace is grace, despite of all controversy, just as thou art a wicked villain, despite of all grace.
Well, there went but a pair of shears between us.
Oh, I grant, as there was between the list and the velvet, thou art the list.
And thou art the velvet. Thou art good velvet, thou art a three-piled piece, I warrant thee, but I have as lief the list of an English say, as be piled, as thou art piled for French velvet. Do I speak soon?
Well, I think thou dost. And, in conclusion from thy speeches, I learned to drink after thee, to begin my health.
I think I have done myself wrong, not.
Yes, that thou hast, whether thou art tainted or free.
Oh, behold, behold, where Madam Mitigation comes, I have bought as many diseases under her roof as to come to...
To what, I pray?
What judge?
To $3,000 a year!
Aye, and more.
A French crown more.
No, thou art always figuring diseases in the midst. Thou art wrong. I am sound.
Nay, not as one would say healthy, but sound isn't hollow. Thy bones are hollow. Impiety has made a feast of thee.
How now? Which one of your hips has the most profound sciatica?
Well, there's one yonder arrested and carried to prison worth 5,000 of you all.
Who's that, I pray?
Mary, sir, that's Claudio, Signor Claudio.
Claudio to prison? 'Tis not so.
Nay, but I know 'tis so. I saw him arrested, saw him carried away, and what's more, within these 3 days to have his head chopped off.
After all this fooling, I should not have thought thou surely.
I am too sure of it, and it is for getting Madame Julietta with child.
Well, believe me, this may be. I had organized to meet within 2 hours since he was ever precise in promise-keeping.
Besides, you know, it draws something near to the speech we had to such a purpose.
I am most of all agreeing with the proclamation.
Well, away! Let's go learn the truth of it.
Thus, what with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with poverty, I am custom shrunk.
How now? What's the news with you? Yonder man is carried to prison.
Well, what has he done?
A woman!
What was his offense?
Well, groping for trout in a peculiar river.
Ooh, is there a maid with child by him?
No, but there's a woman with maid by him. You have not yet heard the proclamation, have you?
What proclamation, man?
All the houses in the suburbs of Vienna are to be plucked down.
And what shall become of those in the city?
They had been put for seed too, and the others had gone down, but that a wise burgher put in for them.
But shall all our houses of resort in the suburbs be pulled down?
To the ground, mistress?
Well, here's change indeed in the Commonwealth. What's to become of me?
Oh, come! Fear you not. Good counselors lack no clients, and though you change your place, you need not change your trade. Ah! Be your tapsters still. Courage! My dear lady, they will take pity on you, you who have worn your eyes out almost in the service. You will be considered.
What's to do with your Thomas Tapster? Let's withdraw.
Oh, well, here comes Signor Claudio, led by the provost to the prison. There's Madame Juliet. Ooh.
Fellow, why dost thou show me thus to the world?
Spare me the prison where I am committed.
I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo by special charge.
Thus can the demigod authority make us pay down for our offense by weight the words of heaven. On whom it will, on whom it will not. So, yet still 'tis just.
Oh, how now, Claudio! Oh, whence comes these restraints?
Too much liberty, my Lucio, liberty. As surfeit is the father of much fast, so every scope by immoderate use turns to restraint. Our natures do pursue like rats that raven down their proper vein, a thirsty evil, and when we drink, we die.
If I could speak so soundly under an arrest, I would for certain call for my creditors. But, truth be told, I'd leave the foppery of freedom, the morality of restraint. What's thy offense, Claudio?
What but to speak of would offend again.
A what? This murder?
No,
Lechery?
call it so.
Away, sir. You must go.
One word, good friend, Lucio.
Well, 100 will do you any good. Is lechery so looked after?
Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract, I got possession of Juliet's bed. Do you know the lady? She is fast my wife, say that we, the denunciation, lack of outward order. This became not too only for propagation of a dower remaining in the coffer of her friends, from whom we thought it meet to hide our love till time had made them for us. But it chances, the self of our most mutual entertainment, with character too gross, is writ on Juliet.
With child, perhaps?
Unhappily, even so. And this new deputy, now for the Duke, whether it be the fault and voice of newness, or whether that the body public be a horse whereon the governor doth ride, who newly in the seat that it may know he can command, lets it straight feel the spur. Whether the tyranny be in his place or in his eminence that fills it up, I stagger in. But this new governor awaits me all the enrolled penalties which have, like unscored armor, hung by a wall so long that 19 zodiacs have gone round, and none of them been worn. And for a name, now the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me. So for a name.
My warrant it is. My head stands so tickle upon thy shoulder that if the milkmaid be in love, she could sigh it off. Go to the Duke and feel that hand.
I have done so, but he is not to be found. I prithee, Lucio, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the cloister enter, and there receive her approbation. Acquaint her with the danger of my state. Implore her, in my voice, that she make friends to the strict deputy, bid herself a saint. I have great hope in that, for in her youth there is a prone and speechless dialect such as move men. Besides, she hath prosperous art when she will play with reason and discourse, and well she can persuade.
Well, I pray she may. Well, for the encouragement of the life, which else may fall under some grievous imposition. As well as the enjoyment of thy life, which I should be sad should it be lost to a game of tic-tac. Up to.
Thanks, good friend Lucio.
But within 2 hours.
Car officer, away.
No, Holy Father! Throw away that thought. Think not that the dribbling dart of love can pierce a complete bosom. Why, I desire thee to give me secret harbor with a purpose more grave and wrinkled than the aims and ends of burning youth.
May your grace speak of it?
My holy sir, none knows better than you how I have ever loved the life removed and held in real price to haunt assemblies where youth, cost, and witless bravery doth keep. I have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence, my absolute power and place here in Vienna. And he supposes me traveled to Poland, for so I have strewn it in the common ear, and so it is received. Now, highest sir, you will defend me why I do this.
Huh? Oh, gladly, my lord.
We have most strict statutes and most biting laws. Equal bits and curbs to headstrong deeds. These 19 years, we have less. Like an overgrown lion in a cave that goes not out to prey. Now, as fond fathers having bound up the threatening twigs of birch, only to stick it in their children's sight, for terror, not to use, in time the rod becomes more mock than fiend. So our decrees, dead to infliction, to themselves are dead. And liberty plucks justice by the nose, the baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum.
It rested in your grace to unloose this tied-up justice when you pleased, and it in you would have seemed more dreadful than in Lord Angelo.
I do fear, too, dreadful. This it was my fault to give the people scope. 'Twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them for what I bid them do. For we bid this done, and evil deeds have their permissive past, and not the punishment. Therefore, indeed, my father, I have imposed the office on Lord Angelo, who may, in the ambush of my name, strike home, and my nature never in the fight for this land. And, to behold his sway, I will, as to a brother of your order, visit both prince and people. Therefore, I prithee, supply me with the habit, and instruct me how I may formally in person bear me like a true friar. More reason for this, at our more leisure, shall I render you, only this one. Lord Angelo is precise, stands at a guard with envy, scarcely confesses that his blood flows, and that his appetite is more to bread than to stone. Hence, shall we see. Power changes purpose, what our seemings be.
And have you nuns no farther privileges? Are not these large enough?
Yes, truly, I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisters of the voters has made place.
Oh, peace be in this place! Place.
Who is that that calls?
Oh, it is a man's voice. Gentle Isabella, turn you the key and know his business of him. You may, I may not, for you are yet unsworn. Once you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the priors. Then, if you speak, you must not show your face, or if you show your face, you must not speak.
Ahem. I not.
I pray you, gentle Isabella, know your business of him.
Peace and prosperity, it's that calls.
Oh, hail, virgin! If you be, for those cheek roses proclaim you are no less. Could you so stand me as to let me know the place of one Isabella, a novice of this place, and a fair sister to her unhappy brother Claudio?
Why her unhappy brother? The rather for which I must now make you know that I am Isabella and his sister.
Oh, well, gentle and fair, your brother kindly greets you. Not to be weary with you, he's in prison.
What me? For what?
For that which, if I might be his judge, he should receive his punishment in advance. He hath got his friend with child.
Sir, make me not your story.
Oh, it is true. I would not. Though it is my familiar sin, a little laughing to jest, tongue far from heart, but to play with all virgins, so I hold you as a thing enskyed and sainted by your renouncement in immortal spirit that should be talked with in sincerity as a saint.
You do blaspheme good and mocking.
Oh, do not believe it. Venus and truth, 'tis thus. Your brother and his lover have embraced as those that feed grow full, as blossoming time that the seedness brings, the bear follows the teeming poison. Even so, her plenteous womb expresses its full tilt in husbandry.
Someone with child by him. My cousin Julia.
Is she your cousin?
Adopted me, as schoolmates change their name by vague though affection.
Oh, this is the point. The Duke is very strangely gone, and is leaving many gentlemen, myself being, and hope of action. But we do learn from those that put the nerves of state, his givings out were an infinite distance from his true meant design. In his stead, in the full line of his authority, governs Lord Angelo, a man whose blood is very sober, one who never feels the wanton stings and passions of the sense, but thus forbidden blunt his natural edge, prophets of the mind, study and fast. He, to give fear to the use of liberty, which hath long run by the hideous law as mice by lions, has picked out that, under which your brother's life falls into support. He arrests him on it and follows close to the rigor of the law to make him an example. All hope is lost. Unless you, by your very grace, soften Lord Angelo. And that's my business with you and your poor brother.
Doth he so seek his life?
I've censured him already, and I hear have a warrant for his execution.
Alas, what more ability than me we could?
Well, let's say the power you have.
My power? I doubt that
Oh, our doubts are traitors, and they make us lose the good we often might win by fearing to attempt to go to Lord Angelo. Let him know when maidens sue men give like gods, but when they kneel and all their decisions are freely theirs, and they themselves know them.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, but speedily.
I will about it straight, no longer staying but to give the mother notice of my affair. I humbly thank you, sir. Commend me to my brother. Sometime tonight I'll send him certain word of my success.
Oh, I take my leave.
Good sir, good to
We must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey, and let it keep one shape till custom make it their perch and not their terror.
Aye, but yet let us be keen and rather cut a little than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this gentleman whom I was saved had a most noble father. Like Mr. Otter know, whom I believe to be most straight in virtue, and that in the working of your own affections has a time computer's place or place of wishing, or that the way in which acting of your blood doth take the effect of your own purpose, whether you had not some time in your life, and in this point which now you simply and call the law upon you.
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Excellence. 'Tis another to fall. I not deny, the jury that now passes on the prisoner's life may the sworn club of a thief or two guiltier than him they try. What's open made to justice, that justice sees is what knows the laws that thieves do pass on thieves. 'Tis very practical. We jewel that we spot, we stoop and take because we see it. But what we do not see, we tread upon and never think of it because we cannot see it. You may not so extenuate his offense, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me, when I that censure him do so offend, let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and in nothing come in part. Sir, you must die.
Be it as your wisdom will.
Where is... Where's the provost?
Here, but like your honor.
See you that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow. Bring him his confessor, let him be prepared, for that is the utmost of his pilgrimage.
Well, heaven forgiveness, and forgive us all. Some rise by sin, some by virtue wrong. Some run from great vice and asinine, and some pretend for gospel.
Come, bring them away. If these be good people in a common deal who do nothing but use their abuses in common houses, I know no law. Come, bring them away.
How now? What's your will and what's the matter?
If it please your honor, I am the poor Duke's constable. My name is Elbow. I do lean upon
justice, sir, and has brought here before your good honor two notorious benefactors.
Benefactors? Well, what benefactors are they not? Malefactors?
If it please your honor, I know not what they are, but precise villains they are. That I am sure of, and void of all profanation in the world that good Christians ought to have.
This comes out well. Here's a wise officer.
Go to them. Let's see what quality of men they are. You say your name is Elbow? Why does thou not speak? Elbow?
He cannot, sir. Oh, he's out at elbow.
What are you, sir?
He, sir, a tapstone, sir, a parcel boy, one who serves a bad woman, whose house was, sir, as they say, locked down in the suburbs, and now she possesses a hot house, which I think is a very ill house too.
How know you that?
By my wife, whom I detest before heaven and your honor.
Why?
I, sir, my wife, who, thank heavens, is an honest woman.
Dost thou detest her therefore?
Marry, sir, I shall detest myself also, as well as she, that this house be it not a God's house. It is pity of her life, for it is a naughty house.
How dost thou know that, constable?
Marry, sir, by my wife, whom, had she been a woman, cardinally given, might have been accused of fornication, adultery, and all uncleanliness there.
By the woman's means.
Aye, sir, by Mistress Overdone's means, but as she spit in his face, so she defied him.
Sir, if it pleases your honors, this is not so.
Proving before these gardens hears out honorable man.
Do you hear how he misplaces?
Sir, she came in great with child and longing, saving your honor's reverence for stewed prunes. Sir, we had but two in the house, which at that very distant time stood, as it were, in a fruit dish. A dish of some 3 cents. Now, your honors have seen such dishes. They're not china dishes, but very good dishes.
Go to, no matter the dish.
No, indeed, not of a pin. You are there in the right, but to the point. As I said, this Mistress Elbow, being, as I say, with child and being great-bellied and longing, as I said, for prunes, of which we had but 2 in the dish, as I did say. And this Master Froth, this very man right here, having eaten the rest of them, as I said, and as I say, having paid for them very honestly, for as you know, I could not give you 3 cents again. No, indeed. Why, very well then, you being then, if you remember, cracking the stones of the 4 cent fruit. Yes, indeed. Why? Very well then, I'm telling you then that such a one and such a one will past cure of the thing you want of, unless you kept a very good diet, as I have told you. All this is true. Why? Very well then. Oh, you already see its goal. To the purpose. Once was done to Elbo's wife that never caused to explain us. Come me to what was done to her. Your honor cannot come to that yet.
No, sir.
Well, rather, I beseech you, look into Master Froth, this gentleman here, right? A man of $80 a year, whose father died at Halloween. Was it not Halloween?
All Hallows.
Why, very well then! I hope here be truths, all right? And he, sir, sitting, as I say, in a lower chair, sir, 'twas at the bunch of grapes where Indeed, you do have a delight to sit, have you not?
Aye, because it is an open roof and good for winter.
Why? Very well then, I hope here be truce.
Ah! This will last a night out in Russia, when nights there are longest. I will take my leave and leave you to the hearing of the cause, hoping you will find good cause to whip them all.
I think no less. Good morning, your lordship. Now, sir, come on. What was done to Elbo's wife once more?
What, sir? There was nothing done to her once.
Oh, I beseech you, sir, ask him what this man did to my wife.
Oh, I beseech you, ask me.
Well, sir, what did this gentleman to her?
Rather! Look at this gentleman here. Master Froth, look at his honor. Does your honor mark his face well?
Aye, sir, very well.
Nay! I beseech you, mark it well.
Oh, well, I do so.
Doth your honor see any harm in this face?
Oh, why, no.
Oh, be supposed upon a book, his face is the worst thing about him. Good then. If his face is the worst thing about him, how could he do the constable's wife any harm? I would know that of your honor.
He's in the right. Constable, let's say you to it.
Well, first, and it like you, this house is a respected house. And this fellow, oh, he is a respected fellow. And his mistress is a respected woman.
By this hand, sir, his wife is a more respected woman than any of us all here.
Garland, thou liest, wicked Garland. Time has yet to come that she was ever respected with man, woman, or child.
Well, sir, she was respected with him before he was married with her.
Which is the wiser here, justice or iniquity?
O thou harlot, O thou Catus, O thou wicked Hannibal, I respected with her before I was married to her. Or, if ever I was respected with her, or she with me, let not your worship think me the poor Duke's constable. Courteous for these harlots here, thou honorable man.
Ain't no touching. No touching.
If he took you, a box like you might have your action of slander too.
Oh, Mary, I thank your worship for it. But what it's your worship's pleasure, I tell you, with wicked.
Truly, officer, because he had some offense. Because he had some offenses in him that thou wouldst discover them. Let him continue in his courses till thou knowest what they are.
Mary, I thank your worship for it. You see now, thou honorable man, what's to become of thee? Thou art to continue now. Thou art to continue.
He said no touching.
Oh, here in Vienna, sir.
Are you out for $4?
Yes, and it please you, sir.
What trade are you of, sir?
Oh, well, tapster. Just a poor widow's tapster.
It's your mistress.
Oh, well, Mistress Overdone.
Has she had any more than one husband?
9, sir. Overdone by the last.
9.
Come hither to me, Master Frog. Master Frog, I would not have you acquainted with dancers. They will draw you, Master Frog, and you will hang them. You're gone, but we see no more of you.
Oh, I thank your worship. For my own part, I never went into any house with a tavern, but I am drawn in.
Oh, well, no more of it, Master Frog. God. What do you think of the trade, Pompey? Is it a lawful trade?
The law would allow it, sir.
Oh, but the law will not allow it, Pompey, nor it shall not be allowed in Vienna.
Does your worship intend to geld and splay all the youth of the city?
Why no, Pompey?
Truly, sir, in my poor opinion, they will to it then. And if your worship will take order for the drabs and the knaves, you need not fear the bawds.
There are pretty orders for kidding, I can tell you. It is but heading and hanging.
If you head and hang all that offend that way, but tenure together, oh, you'll be glad to give out a commission for more heads. If this law should last 10 years in Vienna, oh, I'll rent the fairest house after 3 cents a bay, and if you should live to see this come to pass, you say, Pompey told you so.
Thank you. Good, Pompey, and in requital of your prophecy, Pompey, I advise you, let me not find you before me again on any complaint whatsoever. No, not for dwelling where you do. If I do, Pompey, I shall beat you to your tent and prove a shrewd Caesar to you. In plain dealing, Pompey, I shall have you whipped. So, for this time, Pompey, fare you well.
Thank your worship for your good counsel. That the flesh and fortune shall better determine. Could it be? Nah, let the carman whip his jade, but a valiant heart shan't be whipped out of his trade.
Come hither to me, Master Elbow. Come hither, Master Constable. How long have you been in this place of constable?
7 years and a half, sir.
I thought by your readiness in the office you had continued some time. You say 7 years together.
And a half, sir.
Alas, it has been great pains to you. They do you wrong to be so oft upon it. Are they not men, in your word, sufficient to serve it?
Faith, sir, few of any wit in such matters. But as they are chosen, so they have chosen me. I do it for some sum of money, and go through with all.
Look, you bring me in the names of some 6 or 7 most sufficient of your parents.
And to your worship's house, sir.
To my house. Very well. What's the clock, think you?
11, sir.
I pray you home to dinner with me.
I humbly thank you.
Grieves me for the death of Claudia, but there is no remedy.
Lord Angelo is severe.
It is but needful. A mercy is not itself that oft looks so. Pardon is still the nurse of second love. Poor Claudio, there is no remedy. Come, sir.
Is here another cause you will come straight? I'll tell him of you.
Pray. I shall know his pleasure. Maybe he will relent. Alas, he hath but offended in the dream. All sex, all ages, back of his bite. And he to die for it?
What is it now, Provost?
Is it your will that Claudia shall die tomorrow?
Didst not I tell thee yea? Hadst thou not order? Why dost thou ask me again?
Lest I might be too rash. Under your good correction, I have seen when after execution judgment hath repent over the deed.
Go to. Let that be mine. Do you your office or give up your place, and you shall well be spared.
I crave your honored pardon. What of the groaning Juliet? She's very near her hour.
Dispose of her! To some more fitter place, and that would speak.
Here is the sister of the man condemned, desires access to you.
Hath you, sister?
Yes, a very virtuous maiden, soon to be of a sisterhood if not already.
Well, teach her the way, and see you the fornicatress be removed. Give her needful, if not lavish means, there shall be order for it.
God save your honor.
Stay you a while. Your welcome. What's your will?
I am a woeful suitor to your honor. Please, but your honor, hear me.
Well, what's your suit?
There is a vice that most I do abhor, and most I wish would meet the swift blow of justice, for which I would not plead, but that I must, for which I must not plead, but that I am, and war twixt will and will not.
Well, the matter?
I have a brother is condemned to die. I do beseech you, let it be his fault and not my brother.
Heaven give thee moving grace.
Condemn the fault, and not the actor of it. Why, every fault condemned ere it be done. Mine were the very cipher of a function, to find the fault whose fine stands in record, and let go by the actor.
Just but severe law. I had a brother then.
Give it not to so. Again, entreat him. Kneel down before him, hang upon his gown. You are too bold. You should want to bid you, and not with more tame a tongue desire. Now to him, I say.
Must he needs die?
No remedy.
Yes, I do think that you might spare him, and neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy.
I will not do it.
But can you, if you would?
What I will not, that I cannot do.
But might you do it, and do the world no wrong, if so your heart were moved by that same remorse as mine is to him?
His sentence is too late.
You are too cold.
Too late? Why, no. I that do speak a word may call it back again. Well, believe this. No ceremony that to great ones longs, not the king's sword, the marshal's truncheon, or the judge's robe become them with one half of good grace as mercy does. If you had been as he, and he as you would have slipped like him, and he like you would not have been so stern.
Pray you, be gone.
I would to heaven I had your potency and you were Isabel. Would it then be thus? No. I'd tell what 'twere to be a judge and what a prisoner.
I touch it, there's the vein.
Your brother is a forfeit of the law, and you but waste your words.
Why, all the souls that were forfeit once, and he that might the vantage best have took found out the remedy. Where would you be if he, which is the top of judgment, would but judge you as you are? Well, think on that, and mercy will then breathe within your lips like man you made.
You content, fair maid. 'Tis the law, not I, condemn your brother. Were he my kinsman, my brother, or my son, it should be thus with him. Were he my brother, my kinsman, or my son, it should be thus with him. He must die tomorrow.
Tomorrow? That's sudden. Spare him! Spare him! He's not fit for death. Even for our kitchens we do kill the fowl of the season. Shall we serve heaven with less good than we do minister our gross selves? Good, good, my lord, but think you, who is it that hath died for this offense? There is many have committed it.
Aye, that's well said.
The law hath not been dead, though it hath slept. Those many had not dared commit the edict infringed, if the first that did that evil had answered for his deeds. Now 'tis awake, takes note of what is done, and like a prophet, looks in a glass to see what future evils, whether new or by remissness new conceived, are ere to have no success in degree, but ere they live to die.
Yet show some pity.
I show it most of all when I show justice, for then I pity those I do not know, which a dismissed offense would after gall, and do him right that, answering one foul wrong, lives not to act another. Be satisfied. Your brother dies tomorrow. Be content.
So you must be the first to carry out this sentence, and he that suffers. Oh, it is excellent to have a giant strength, but it is tyranny to use it like a giant.
That's well said.
Could great men thunder as Job does, Job would ne'er be quiet, for every pelting petty officer would use his heaven for thunder, nothing but thunder. Merciful heaven! Thou rather with thy sharp and sulphurous bolt splits the gnarled, unwedgeable oak than the soft myrtle. But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, his glassy essence like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven as would make angels weep, who, with our spleens, would they themselves laugh mortal.
Oh, to him, wench, how may I receive you with him?
We cannot weigh our brother with ourselves. Great men may jest with saints, 'tis wit in them, but in the less, foul profanation.
Thou art the right girl, more than that.
That in the captain's a colored word, 'tis in the soldier's flag of blasphemy.
Ooh, art advised of that, more on it.
Why do you put these sayings upon me?
Because Authority, though it may err like others, hath yet a kind of medicine that skins the vice of the tongue. Go to your bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know to like my brother's fault. If it do confess a natural guiltiness such as is his, let it not sound a thought upon your tongue against my brother's life.
She speaks, and 'tis with such sense that my sense breeds with it. Fare you well.
Good my lord, turn back.
I will bethink me. Fare you well.
Hark how I'll ride you. Gentle my lord, turn back.
How? Ride me.
Aye, with such gifts as heaven shall share with you.
You barred all those.
Not with fond shekels of tested gold, with stones whose rates are either rich or poor as fancy values them, but with prayers that shall be up in heaven ere sunrise. Prayers from preserved souls, from fasting babes whose minds are dedicated to nothing temporal.
Well then, come to me tomorrow.
Go to! Tis well.
Heaven save your honor.
Amen. For I am doubly going towards temptation where prayers cross.
At what hour tomorrow shall I attend your lordship?
Any time for noon.
Save your honor.
From thee, even from thy virtue. What's this? What's this? Is this her fault or mine, the tempter or the tempted? Who sins most? Not her, nor does she tempt, but it is I that lying by the violet in the sun does as the carrion does, not as the flower. Corrupt virtue season. Can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than women's likeness? Having waste ground enough shall we desire to pitch our evils there and raise the sanctuary. Oh, fie, fie, fie! What dost thou? Or what art thou, Angelo? What dost thou desire her foully for those things that make her good? Let her brother live. Thieves for their robbery have authority when judges steal themselves. What do I love her? That I desire to feast upon her eyes and hear her speak again? What is it I do? Oh, cunning enemy, that the cat could save the big thy book. Never, with the strumpet, with all her double vigor, art and nature have stirred my temper, but this benevolent maid subdues me quite. Even till now, when men were fond, I smiled and wondered how.
Hail to you, good provost! So I think you are.
Your will, good friar?
Bound by my charity and my blessed order, I'm come to visit the afflicted spirits here in the prison. Do me the common good to let me see them and to make me know the nature of their crimes, that I may minister to them accordingly.
I would do more than that if it were needful. Look, here comes one gentlewoman of mine who, falling in the flaws of her youth, hath blistered in her report. She is with child, and he that got it there sentenced, a young man more fit to do another such crime than to die. For this.
Provost, when must he die?
Tomorrow, as I did say. Come, stay a while. I have provided for you. And you shall be conducted.
Repent you, fair one, of the sin you carry?
I do, and bear the shame most patiently.
I'll teach you how you shall arraign your conscience and try your penance, if it be sound or hollowly put on.
Oh, I'll gladly learn.
Love you, the man that wronged you?
Yes, as I love the woman that wronged him.
But it seems your most offenseful act was mutually committed.
Mutually.
Well, it was your sin of heavier kind than his.
I do confess it and repent it, Father.
'Tis meet so, daughter, but lest you do repent, as that the sin hath brought you to this shame, which sorrow is always towards ourselves, not heaven. Surely we would not spare heaven if we love it. It is
stand in fear.
I do repent me as it is an evil, and take the shame with joy.
There rest. Your partner, as I hear, must die tomorrow, and I am going with instruction again. Grace go with you? Benedicite?
Must die tomorrow. Oh, injurious love that respites me a life whose very comfort is still a dying horror.
'Tis pity of him.
When I would pray and think, I think and pray to separate subjects. Heaven hath my empty words, whilst my invention, hearing not my tongue, anchors on Isabel. Heaven on my tongue, as if I could but chew his name, and in my heart the strong and swelling evil of my conception. The state wherein I studied was like a good thing, growing well read, being feared and tedious, yea, my gravity wherein let no man hear me, I take great pride I could with boot trade, for an idle plume which the air would knock in vain. O place, O form, how often dost thou with thy case, thy habit, wrench all from fools and tie wiser souls to thy false seeming? Blood, thou art blood. Let's write good angel on the devil's horn, 'tis not the devil's crest. Now, who's that?
One Isabel, a sister, desires access to...
Teacher the wet. Oh, heavens! Why does my blood thus muster to my heart, rendering both it unable of itself and dispossessing all my other parts of necessary fitness? So plays the foolish throngs as one that swoon. Come all to help, and in so doing stop the air by which he should revive. Yea, even the general, subject to a well-wished king, proud to his presence and an obsequious fondness, their needs must need appear offense. I
am come to know your pleasure.
That you might know it would much better please me than to demand what is. Your brother cannot live.
Even so, heaven keep your honor.
Yet may he live a while, and it may be as long as you and I. Yet he must die.
Under your sentence.
Yet?
When, I beseech you, that his reprieve being longer or shorter, he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not.
Ha! By these filthy vices, it were as good to pardon him that hath from nature stolen a man already made, as to remit their saucy sweetness, that do coin heaven's image in stamps that are forbid. It were as good to pardon him that hath from nature stolen. It were as easy falsely to take away a life true made, as to put metal in restrained means to make falsehood.
'Tis set down so in heaven, but not in earth.
And I shall pose it quickly. What would you rather? That the most just law now took your brother's life, or to redeem him, give up your body to such sweet uncleanness as she that he hath stained?
Sir, believe this. I had rather give my body than my soul.
I speak not of your soul. Our compelled sins stand more for number than for a cause.
How say?
Nay, I'll not warrant that, for I can speak against the things I say. Answer to this. I, now the voice of the reported law, pronounce a sentence on your brother's life. Might there not be charity in sin to save this brother's life?
Please you to do it. I'll take it as peril to my own soul. 'Tis no sin at all, but charity.
Please you to do it. At peril of your soul were equal poise of sin and charity.
That I do beg my brother's life. If it be sin, heaven let him bear it. You, granting of my suit, if that be sin, then I'll make it my morn prayer to have it added to the list of the faults of mine, and nothing of your answer.
Nay, but hear me. Your sense pursues not mine. Either you are ignorant or seem so craftily, and that is not good.
Let me be ignorant and in nothing good. Graciously to know I am no better.
Thus wisdom wishes to appear more bright when it doth tax itself. Just as these black masks proclaim and show beauty 10 times brighter, than beauty could display. But mark, to be heard more plain, I'll speak more gross. Your brother is to die.
So,
And his punishment, as it appears, is incumbent to the law upon that pain.
true.
Admit no other way to save him, but in the loss of question is I subscribe that not that nor any other, but that you, his sister, finding yourself desired by such a person whose own great person or own great credit with the judge could save your brother from the manacles of the all-building law, and that there were no earthly means to save him, but that you must give death the treasures of your body to this supposed or let him suffer. What would you do?
As for my brother, as with myself, that is, were I under terms of death, the impressions of keen whips I'd wear as rubies, and strip myself to death as to a bed that longing had been sick for, ere I'd yield my body up to shame.
And must your brother die?
'Twere the cheaper way. Better for a brother to die at once than a sister in redeeming who should die forever.
Were you not then as cruel as the sentence that you have proclaimed such?
Ignominy and ransom and fair pardon are of two houses. Lawful mercy is nothing kin to foul redemption.
I think you well. And from this testimony of your own sex, since I suppose we are made to be no more than faults may shake our frames, I shall be bold. Be that you are, that it is a woman. If you be more, you're none. If you be one, as you are well expressed, show it now. Put on the destined livery.
I have no tongue but one, my lord. Gentle. I do entreat you to speak the former language.
Plainly conceive I love you.
My brother did love Juliet, and you tell me he shall die for it.
He shall not, Isabel, if you but give me your love.
I know your office has a virtue in it, which seems a little fouler than this love of others.
Believe me, upon my honor, my words do speak my purpose.
Little honor to be much believed, and most pernicious purpose. Seeming. I will proclaim thee, Angelo, look for it. Sign a notice for my brother's pardon, or with an outstretched throat, I'll tell the world what man thou art.
Who will believe thee, Isabel? My unsoiled name, the exteriorness of my life, my vouch against you, and my place in the state will so your accusation overwhelm that you shall stifle in your own report and smell of calumny. I have begun, and now I give my more sensual race the reins. Fit thy consent to my sharp appetite. Lay by all niceties and prolixest blushes that banish what they sue for. Yield thy body to my will, or not only must he die, but thy unkindness shall his death draw out to lingering sufferance. Answer me tomorrow, or by the affection that now drives me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you can. My false or wade your true.
To whom should I complain? Did I tell this, who would believe me? Oh, perilous mouths that bear in the self-same tongue, either condemnation or reproof, bidding the law make curtsy to their will, hooking the appetite left and right to follow as it draws. Out my brother, though he hath fallen by prompt stroke of blood, yet he happens to a mind of honor, that having 20 heads to tender down to 20 bloody blocks, he healed them out before his sister should her body stoop to such a more pollution. And Isabel lived chaste, and brother died. More than our brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request, and sing his mind for death in his soul rest.
So, then, pardon, Lord Angelo?
The miserable have no other medicine but only hope. I've hoped to live and am prepared to die.
The absolute for death.
Either death
life, that by the dispute. Reason thus with life. If I did lose thee, lose a thing that none but please with thee. A breath thou, a circle of all the skyey influences that dust this habitation where thou keepst, hourly afflict. Nearly, thou art death's fool. But for him thou laborest by thy flight to shun, and yet runs towards him still. Thou art not noble, for all the accommodations that thou bearest are nursed by basement. Thou art by no means valiant, thou placest soft and tender form of a poor world. Thy best of rest is seen, and as thou oft provokest, closely pierce thy death, which is no Lord. Thou art not thyself. Thou exists under many a thousand brains that issue out of dust. Happy thou art not, for what thou hast not, still thou strivest to get, and what thou hast, forget. Thou art by no means certain, for thy complexion shifts and strange effects after the moon. But when thou art rich, thou art poor, for like an ass whose back within gets bows, thou bear thy riches but a journey, and death unloads thee. Friends hast thou not, thine own bowels, which you call thee sire, the mere effusions of thy proper loins, to perfect doubt, said we go in the loins, for envy thee no truth. Thou hast no youth, age, as it were, an afternoon sleep, dreaming of both. All thy youth comes as age to the red gnomes of Cozumel, and when thou art old and rich, thou hast no fear. You be live your affections and make thy riches pleasant. It's yet in this that bears the name of color. But in this life lie hid mo thousand deaths. Yet death with fear makes these odds all.
I humbly thank you. To sue to live, I find I seek to die, and seeking death, find life. Let it come on.
What hope? Peace here, grace and good company.
Who's there? Come in. The wish deserves a welcome.
Dear sir, ere long I'll visit you again.
Holy sir.
My business is a word or two with Claudia.
And very welcome. Look, Signor, here's your sister.
Provost, a word with you.
As many as you please.
Bring me to hear them speak, where I may be concealed.
Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Angelo, having affairs for heaven, intends to make you his swift ambassador. There you shall make your everlasting liger. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
None but that to save a head would cleave a heart in twain.
But is there anything?
Yes, brother, you may live. There's a devilish mercy in the judge that, if you implore it, will spare your life, but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance?
Aye, just. Perpetual durance. A restraint that all the world's restrictions had for his purpose.
But in what nature?
In such a one as you consenting to it would bark your honor from your trunk and leave you naked.
Let me know the point.
I do fear thee, Claudio. And they quake, lest thou should. A feverish life entertains with more respect than perpetual honor. Darest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon feels incorporeal sufferance as great a pang as when a giant.
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
There spake my brother. There from our father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sated deputy, whose settled visage and deliberate word nips youth in the head, and follies doth the moo as falcon doth the fowl, is yet a devil. His filth within being cast, he would appear a pond as deep as hell.
Frenzy, Angela.
Oh, 'tis the cunning livery of hell, that damns its body to invest and cover in frenzy guards. Dost thou think, Claudio? If I might yield him my virginity, thou mightst be free. Heavens, it cannot be. Yes, he wished to give it thee from this rank offense so to offend him still. Tonight's the night that I must do what I am born to do, or else thou diest tomorrow. Thou shalt not do it. Were it but my life, I throw it down for your deliveries as frankly as it did. Thanks, dear Isabel. Be ready, Claudia. Bring it back tomorrow. Has he affections in him that thus can make him fight the law by the nose for evil course? It is no sin, or of the deadly seven, it is the least. Which is the least? It was Daniel. He being so wise, why would he, for the momentary trick, be perdurably fine? Oh, Isabel, what says my brother? Death is a fearful thing, and a shamed life hateful. Why but to die, and go we know not where, to lie in cold obstruction and to rot. This sensible worn motion to become a needed clod. The delighted spirit to bathe in fiery blood, or to reside in thrilling region of thick grid to ice, to be imprisoned in the viewless winds and blown with restless violence round about the pennant world, or to be worse than worse of those that lawless and in certain thought imagine howling. 'Tis too horrible. The weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death. Alas, alas! Sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life? Nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue. Oh, you beast! Oh, you faithless coward! Dishonest wretch! Wilt thou make a man out of my vice? It's not a kind of incest to derive life from thine own sister's shame. What should I think? Heaven shield our mother played my father fair, for such a warm slip of wilderness there issued from his blood. Take my defiance! Die! Perish! Might but my bending down reprieve thee, it should go on. I'll pray 1,000 words for thy death, no word to save thee. Oh, fly! Thy sins not accidental but a trade. Mercy to thee would itself be a bond. 'Tis best thou diest quicker.
Vouchsafe, young sister, a word, but one word.
What's your will?
Might you dispense with your leisure, I would by and by have some speech with you. The satisfaction I would require is likewise your own benefit.
I have no superfluous leisure. My stay is stolen out of other affairs, but I will attend thee a while.
So, I have overheard what passed between you and your sister. Know that Lord Angelo never had purpose to corrupt her, only he hath made an essay of her virtue to practice his judgment, disposition of natures. And she, having the truth of honor in him, gives him that gracious denial which I know he is most glad to receive. I am confessor to Antony, and I know this to be true. Therefore, prepare yourself for death. Do not satisfy your resolution with hopes that are fallible. Tomorrow you must die. Go to your knees and make ready.
I ask my sister pardon. I am so out of love with life that I will sue to be rid of it.
We'll do that. Farewell. Provost! A word. gone. I would desire some speech with the maid. My mind promises by my habit, no loss shall touch her by my hand.
And good time.
The hand that hath made you good, made you fair. The goodness that is cheap in beauty makes beauty brief in goodness. But grace, being the soul of your complexion, will keep the body of it ever fair. The assault that Lord Angelo hath made on you, fortune hath conveyed my understanding. And but that frailty had examples for his failings. I should wonder at Lord Angelo. How will you do to content this substitute and to save your brother's life?
I am going to resolve him. I had rather my brother die by the law than my son be unlawfully born. But oh, how is the good Duke deceived in Lord Angelo! If he return and I have chance to meet with him, I will open my lips in vain or else discover his government.
That shall not be much amiss. But as the matter stands, he will avoid your accusation. He may trial of you only. Therefore, fasten your ears, my advices. For the love I have in doing good readily presents itself. And to make myself believe that you may most uprighteously do a poor wronged lady a merited benefit, redeem your brother from the angry law, do no stain upon your own gracious self, and much please the absent Duke, if peradventure we shall ever return to have hearing of this business.
Let me hear you speak farther. I have spirit to do anything that appears not foul in the truth of my spirit.
Virtue is bold, and goodness never fearful. Have you not heard speaking of Mariana, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who miscarried at sea?
I heard a good word about her name.
She, should this Lord Angelo have married, was affianced to him by oath, and the nuptial appointed, between which time of the contract and the limit of the solemnity, her brother Frederick was wrecked at sea. Having advanced carriage a vessel, the marriage dowry of his sister, long however was felt more gently. There she lost a noble and renowned brother, in his love for her ever most kind and natural. With him, the portion and sinew of her fortune, her marriage dowry. With both, her combinate husbands, well scheming and
Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her?
left her in her tears, and dried not one of them with its comfort, swallowed his vows whole, pretending her discoveries of dishonor. In few, bestowed her on her own lamentations, which she yet wears for his sake. And he, a martyr of tears, washed her. Relents not.
What mercy it was in death to take this poor maid from the world. What corruption life did they let this man live? But how is this does she avail?
It is a rupture that you may most easily heal. And the cure of it saves not only your brother, but keeps you from dishonor in doing it.
Show me how, your father.
This forenamed maid hath yet in her the continuance of her first affection. His unjust unkindness, which by all reason should quench her love, hath, like an impediment in the earth, made it more violent and unruly. Go you then to Lord Angelo. Answer his requirings with a plausible obedience. Agree with his demands to a point. Only refer yourself this advantage. First, that your stay with him may not be long, that it may have all shadow and silence in it, and that the place answer to convenience. This being granted in course, and now follows all, you shall advise this wronged maid to set up your appointment. Go in your place. The encounter acknowledged itself hereafter, it may compel him to her recompense. And by this is your brother saved, your honor untainted, the poor Mariana advantaged, and the corrupt deputy scaled. The maid will I pray make fit for this appointment. If you think well to carry this as you may, the doubleness of the benefit defends the deceit from reproof. What think you of it?
The image of it gives me content already, and I trust it will grow to a most prosperous perfection.
It lies much in your holding up. Haste you speedily to Angela. for this night he entreat you to his bed. Give him promise of satisfaction. I will presently to St. Luke's. There at the moated grange resides the dejected Mariano. At that place, call upon me. And dispatch with Angelo that it may be quickly.
I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, good father.
Nay, if there be no remedy for it, but that you need buy and sell men and women like peace. Not all the world, brown and white and bastard.
Oh heavens! What stuff is here?
Well, 'twas never merry world, since of two usuries the merriest was put down, and the worser allowed by the order of law a furred gown, and furred with fox and lamb skin to signify that craft, being richer than innocency, stands for the facing.
Come your way, sir. Oh, bless you, good Father Friar.
And you, a good brother father. What crime has this man done to you, sir?
Marry, sir, he hath offended the law, and he is him to be executed, sir. For we have found upon him, sir, a strange big lock, which we have sent to the deputy.
Ah, Sirrah, a bawd? A would-be bawd? Is thou but to think to cram a bar? Blow the back from such a filthy vice. Save thyself from their abominable and beastly touches. I eat, I drink, array myself, and live. Canst thou believe thy living is a life so stinkingly depending? Go mend, go mend!
Well, indeed, sir, it does stink of some sort. But yet, I would prove.
The devil will give thee proofs for sins, thou wilt prove his. Away with him to prison, officer. Correction and instruction must both work ere this rude beast will profit.
We must before a deputy, sir. The deputy will not abide a whoremonger. If he be a whoremonger and come before him, he will as good go a mile on his errand.
That will be all, as some would seem to be, from our faults as faults from seeming free.
His neck will come to your waist. Accord, sir.
I cry comfort! I spy bail! Here's a gentleman and a friend of mine!
How now, noble Pompey? What, art the wheels of Caesar? Art thou led in triumph? Oh, are there none of Pygmalion's images, newly made women to be had now for putting the hand in the pocket and extracting his blood? Reply, huh?
Bail!
What sayest thou to this tuned matter and method? Oh, this is sad. And a few words. Or how?
No boss and boss.
How doth my dear morsel thy mistress procure she still?
Faith, sir, she has eaten all her beef, and she is herself still in the tub.
Why, 'tis good. It is not amiss. It is good. It is the right of it. Ever your fresh ward, your powdered bond, and an unshunned consequence, it must be so. Art going to prison, Pompey?
Yes! Faith, sir!
Oh, why, 'tis not amiss. Farewell, Pompey. Oh, go say I sent thee thither. For debt, Pompey, or how?
For being a bawd. For being a bawd.
Oh, well then. If in prison be the due of a bawd, 'tis his right. Bawd is he doubtless, and of antiquity too. Bawd born!
I hope your good worship will be my bail.
No. Indeed, Pompey, will I not? It is not the wearer. No. I will pray. To increase your bondage. If you do not take it patiently, why then your metal is the more. Bless you, brother.
Will you not not be my bail then!
Oh, then, nor now.
No!
Adieu, trusty Pompey. What news of abroad, Friar? What news?
Look your way, sir.
Go to kennel, Pompey, go! What news, Friar, of the Duke?
I know of none. Can you tell me of any?
Well, some say he's with the Emperor of Rome. Others some that he's in Russia, but where is he, think you?
I know not where, but wheresoever I wish him well.
Well, it was a mad, fantastical trick of him to steal from the state and to usurp the beggar he was never born to. Lord Angelo dukes it well in his absence and puts transgression to it.
He does well in it.
Well, a little levity lechery would do him no harm. A little crab that way, Friar.
It is too general a vice, and severity must cure it.
Oh, well, yes, in good sooth, it is a sin of a great kindred, it is well allied, but it is impossible to extirpate white friar till eating and drinking be outlawed. They say this, Angelo was not made by man and woman by this downright way of creation. Is it true, think you?
How should he be made then?
Some say a seaman spawned him. Others some that he was begot between two stockfishes. But it is certain that when he makes water, his urine is congealed ice. That I know to be true, and his emotion generally that's infallible.
You are pleasant, sir, and speak apace.
What? What a ruthless thing! The rebellion of a codpiece to take the life of a man? Would the Duke that is absent have done this? Ere he would have hanged the man for the getting 100 bastards. He would have paid for the nursing 1,000. He had some feeling of the sport. He knew the service. That instructed him in mercy.
I never heard the absent Duke much detected for women. He was not inclined that way.
Oh, you are deceived.
'Tis not possible.
Who? Not the Duke? Yes, your beggar of 50. And his use was to put $1 in her claptis. The Duke had Protestant and he'd be drunk too. That let me inform you.
You do him wrong, surely.
Oh, sir, I was an inward of his. A shy fellow was the Duke, and I believe I know the cause of his withdrawing.
What I think might be the cause.
No! His secret must be locked from the teeth of the lips. But this I can have you understand. The greater file of the subject held the Duke to be wise.
Wise? No question that he
A
was.
very superficial, unwed, and ignorant fellow.
Neither this be the envy in you, folly or mistake. The very stream of his life and the business he hath helmed must, upon a warranted need, give him a better proclamation. Let him be but testimony in his own bringings forth. He shall appear to the envious, a scholar, a statesman, and a soldier. Therefore you speak unskillfully, or if your knowledge be more, it is much darkened in your mouth.
But sir, I know him, and I love him.
Love talks with better knowledge, and knowledge dear love.
Come, sir, I know what I mean.
I think not, since you know not what you speak. But if ever the Duke return, as our prayers are he may, let me desire you to make your answer before him. Be honest, you have spoke. You have courage to maintain it. I am bound to call upon you, and I pray you, your name.
Well, sir, my name is Lucio, well known to the Duke.
He shall know you better, sir, if I may live to report you.
I fear you not.
Then you think me too unhurtful and opposite, and you hope the Duke will return no more.
But in I can do you little harm. If you swear this is
Well, I'll be hanged first. You are deceiving me, friar. What enough? Canst thou tell me if Claudio died tomorrow, yes or no?
why should he die?
Why? Why, for filling a bottle with the tundish. I wish the Duke we speak of were returned again. The ungendered aged one unpeople the province with continency. The sparrows must not build in his houses, for they are lecherous. The Duke would have dark deeds, darkly answered he would never bring them to light. Oh, were he returned again! Farewell, good friar, and I prithee, pray for me. The Duke, I say to thee again, would eat mutton on Fridays. Oh, he's not passage yet, and I say to thee, he was mouth with the beggar, though she smelled of brown bread and garlic. Say that I said so. Farewell.
No might, nor grace, immortality can censure scape. Back wounding calumny, the lightest virtue strikes. What king so strong can either gall up in the slanderous tongue? But who comes here?
Again? Go! Away with her to prison! Good, my lord, be good to me. Your honor is accounted a merciful man, good my lord.
Double and treble admonition, and still forfeit in the same kind. This would make mercy swear to playing the tyrant.
Well, let me continue. May it please your honor.
My lord, this is one Lucio's information against me. Mistress Kate Keepdown was with child by him in the Duke's time. He promised her marriage. The child is a year and a quarter old from Philip and Jacob. I have kept it myself, and see how he goes about to abuse me.
This fellow is a fellow of much license. Let him be brought before us. Go to! Away with her to prison! No more words! Provost, my brother Angelo will not be altered. Claudio must die tomorrow. Let him be furnished with divines and have all charitable preparation. If my brother, brought by my pity, it should not be so with him.
May it please your honor. This friar here hath advised him for entertainment of death.
A good even, good father.
Bliss and goodness on you.
Of whence are you?
Not of, this country, though my hope is now to use it for my time. I'm a brother of gracious order, late come from the sea, in special business from his holiness.
What news abroad in the world?
Nothing. But that there is so great a fever on goodness that the dissolution of it must cure it. Novelty is only a request, and it is as dangerous to be aged in any course as it is virtuous to be constant in any undertaking. There is scarce truth enough to keep society secure, but security enough to make fellowships accursed. Much upon this riddle runs the wisdom of the world. This news is old enough, but it is every day's news. I pray you, sir, of what disposition was the Duke?
One that, above all other strifes, wanted especially to know himself.
What pleasure was he given to?
Rather rejoicing to see another marry than marry at anything which professed to make him rejoice. A gentleman of all temperance. But leave we him to his events with a prayer they may be prosperous, and let me desire to know how you find Claudio prepared. I am made to understand that you have lent visitation.
He confesses to have received no sinister measure from the judge, but most willingly humbles himself to the determination of justice. Yet, having framed himself by instruction of his frailty many deceiving promises of life, which I, by my good leisure, have discredited to him. And now he is resolved to die.
You have paid the heavens your function, and deserve the very best of the cause. I have labored for the first instant to be extremely sure of my modesty, but my brother Justice have I found so severe that he has forced me. He is indeed justice.
The straightness of his life answer his proceedings shall become him well, wherein he chance to fail in a sentence of himself.
I am going to visit the prisoner. Fare you well.
Peace be with you. He, who the sword of heaven will bear, should be as holy as severe. Pattern himself to know, grace to stand and virtue go. More nor less to others paying than myself offenses weighing. Shame to him whose cruel striking kills for faults of his own liking. Twice treble shame on Angelo to weed my vice and let his grow. What may man within him hide, though angel on the outward side? How may likeness made in crimes, making practice on the times, fall with pale spider strings, most ponderous and substantial things? Raft is vice, I must lie. With Angelo, tonight shall lie his own betrothed, but despised. Despised by his
Donations for Shakespeare on the lawn during this 15-minute intermission. Now, go ask these nice people.
We work for corn and those eyes that break the day, nights that do mislead the morn, and my kiss is brilliant, sealed in love, but sealed in faith, sealed in faith.
Break off thy song, and haste thee quick away. Here comes a man of comfort who have often stilled my brawling discontent. I cry you mercy and welcome wish would not found me here so musical. Let me excuse me and believe me so. My mirth it must displease, but please my woe.
'Tis, good, though music oft has such a charm to make bad good, and good provoke to harm. I pray you tell me, hath anyone inquired for me here today? Much upon this time have I promised here to meet.
You have not been inquired after. I have sat here all day.
Ah, I can constantly believe you. The time has come even now. I shall crave your forbearance, little. Maybe anon I will call upon you for some advantage to yourself.
I am always bound to you.
Very well met, and welcome. What is the news from this good gentleman?
We have the garden to Hammerton Brick, whose western side is the vineyard path, and to the vineyard is the flamed gate that makes the opening with its vineyard. The other does remain the little gate that from the vineyard to the garden leads. There have I made my promise to call upon him in the heavy middle of the night.
But shall you on your knowledge find his way?
I have taken a due and wary note about it. With whispering and guilty diligence, he has shown me the way twice o'er.
And are there no other tokens between you agreed concerning her observance?
None but a repair in the dark, and I have made him know that my stay can be reproved, and that I have a servant based upon me to persuade him as I come about my brother.
'Tis well borne up. I have not yet made known to Mariana a word of this. What ho, within? Come forth. I pray you, be acquainted with this maid. She comes to do you good.
I do desire the like.
Do you persuade yourself that I respect you?
Good friar, I know you do and have found it.
Take this, then, your companion by the hand, who hath a story ready for your ear.